Welcome to the Troy Kearns podcast. We discuss real estate investing, entrepreneurship, and business to help you retire and become financially free. Make sure you share this podcast with someone who could benefit from it and leave us a 5-star review. It truly helps me out. This show will mentor you towards financial freedom. If I can do it, so can you.
Welcome to the Troy Kearns podcast. Today we've got Matt Kamp from DealMachine. If you guys didn't know, DealMachine is the best tool if you are flipping, wholesaling, doing anything in real estate. It is built by real estate investors for real estate investors. That's, I think, the number one thing. People are always asking me, and while I get into this, people always ask me, you know, Troy, what do you recommend? Do you recommend this? Do you recommend that? And I used to say, I don't really want to make any recommendations, but now I say unequivocally, DealMachine.
Amazing.
Matt, tell us about your story. How did you get associated with DealMachine?
Yeah, well, Troy, again, thank you so much for having me on. I'm pumped to be here for the event you've got going on, tonight through the weekend. That's going to be really fun. I know tomorrow we're going to be literally finding deals live with everybody attending. So I'm very, very excited to be here. So Matt Kamp over here, head of partnerships at DealMachine. Basically, my goal is to help really in general make our customers more successful and team up. I mean, I love teaming up with you guys because I know, hey, if they're going through, if they're being coached by you, if they're working with you in any capacity, they are going to be more successful in real estate, period, which means, hey, we can be a tool that is actually useful to them, right?
Yeah.
Like in the end, we're a software that, yes, we want to make it as easy as possible to save you time, but you still have to go out there and use it, right?
What?
I know, crazy to think about. So if we can go out there and team up with folks like you who we know are putting out amazing education and arming them with everything else that we can't arm them with, that they're going to be more successful with us and stick with us longer too. So really appreciate you being here or you inviting me here. And then on that front,
I like being here too.
KC's great. Kansas City's great.
Yeah.
I got a lot of family here. So, but in addition to that, I'll say for me personally, to answer your original question, DealMachine is something that David and Dave, the guys who started it, I've known forever. I've had a past business with Dave. David, we literally grew up with these guys. We all grew up in St. Louis together. Lucky that I made friends with people that are like world-class at what they do, and we all really complement each other in terms of our just natural skill set, which has just been awesome how it's worked out.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like I said, I've known David since middle school, so it's been a long time. Letco, yeah.
Okay.
And
you guys the same age?
Yeah. All three of us are, yeah.
How old are you guys all?
So, 34, 35.
Okay.
So I'm 34, they're 35, but yes. So we've known each other for a long, long time. They were my
buddy
buddy
beard,
party.
though, so you kind of got that mature.
There we go. I try to. Yeah, I look way younger if you shave this off of me.
I bet.
Yeah. But yeah, so I've known him forever. We actually there was an agency, a marketing agency that we were like two of the early employees at together before this. And then they slowly, Dave especially slowly peeled off from that and was like, hey, yeah, me and David are going to try this new idea he's got. David Lecco was getting into real estate and was like, man, he had a tech background, but he would drive around and do this thing called driving for dollars that's been around forever, right?
Yeah.
And he was driving around.
Did not invent it.
Yeah, no, did not
just
come up with
made it
this.
awesome.
Yeah, and that's what he would drive around and just be like, man, it works. I'm talking to sellers, but man, this is like brutal to go through and try to do this by hand. Mm-hmm. And so he made version 1 and brought Dave into it, and they really put that out there.
What does Dave do? Because he's like, I never see him.
He's the man behind. He's the Wizard of Oz.
He's like the Wizard of Oz for sure. Yeah.
David Lecco is awesome at translating it together. Where he's the investor. He's somebody who was solving his own problem. He's got the business side as well. Mm-hmm. And then Dave Oster, he's great at product vision and things. But together they're just a great team at like translating what does the customer need. How can we mix what they need with what we think they need and put it all together? And
I think that's super important, Matt, because that's what's missing, and that's what I always say about DealMachine is like the guys who invented this actually invest in real estate. Yeah. And most of the times when you're dealing with, I'm not gonna say the competitors because we use them too.
Yeah.
But
understandable. Yeah.
Clearly, you guys are the leader because David's still actually using it.
Yeah. So
you're using it, right?
Yeah, David is, Brenton is, I am. And we've got, I would say, a huge chunk of our team practicing what we preach, right? And I love.
Who's the best wholesaler?
I think I may have done the most wholesale deals.
I was gonna guess that. That was a nice Midwestern way of saying I'm number one.
Like David's, he's more the buy and hold, which that's the real long-term wealth generator too, right? But it's something that I'm doing deals in St. Louis and love just being able to use it myself. And then, I try to teach what our customers are doing in general, but it's a whole nother level when I can come in and say, here's the deals I'm doing too, right? So and then I got involved 2020, so they've been at it for a few years. They started 2016.
Yeah,
17.
that's what I feel. I feel like I was an early adopter. Like you'd have to
for sure were.
You have to go look at my original profile because I used it.
Yeah,
and it was like in its infancy.
He's probably embarrassed what it looked like.
Well, I don't even remember, but I remember like it was pretty cool back then, and I just didn't stick with it. And then when I came out here in 2019 and met Haywood, I was like, I'm like, where'd you get all these deals? He said, DealMachine. I said, I need to give that another shot.
Check it out again. Well, it's funny, like we get people all the time saying, oh, I've heard of DealMachine or I tried it years ago, and then, I need to try it again.
I'm surprised how many people don't know about it.
Yeah, true in general, but it's something we have really, really intentionally tried to be the ones that are always evolving and always adding new things. So we want you to say, oh, wow, I didn't know it did that. Or I should look at this again, right? And,
dude, it does. Let's go through the features and benefits right now. So when it first started, it was literally just take a picture of the house or just put your pin on the house, send a postcard.
Yep.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
Now what's it do?
A little more than that, yeah. So David, that was his first initial version, and it was just like him driving for dollars, saying,
which was pretty cool, just to be honest.
For sure, yeah. That alone like got the initial traction, and people were really like, man, this is something I should use. And David was blown away. He made it for himself to solve that problem, and then he had somebody approach him and be like, I'll pay you $1,000 to use that, and he was just blown away. He's like, you'll actually pay me to use this? Like I'm using this for myself, and so that's when he realized he was really onto something. And then again, when they really got traction is when they started to hire, and that's when they were like, yeah, we really want to invest in our partnerships and educating people on a big scale. Like that's why I came on to do. So I really try to share that playbook of like what our most successful people are doing and how they're doing it. But for David, it was starting off with that little take a picture, pin it, send a postcard, and that was it. Now we've really become, I would say, it's the real estate data and lead gen platform. Yeah. And driving for dollars is a piece of that, right? Like that's still an awesome way to find deals, but there are way more, really anything around how do you leverage data to find motivated sellers, and then how do you leverage technology to get in front of those sellers as efficiently as possible. That's what we really want to be the go-to, like, best in class there. So.
All right. But I want to go down to like the basics because I think like it's, you may not, I know where you guys are headed and I hear that 100%. Yep. But what I'm blown away is you don't have to use skip tracing anymore. So people who don't know what skip tracing is, can you break that down? Because that's a big thing. But if you have to use multiple platforms, it's really a pain in the ass.
For sure.
Because you just have to say with DealMachine, it's great for driving for dollars. Yep. You don't have to say that anymore.
Yeah. It's anything around finding deals. We want to be that go-to tool. Skip tracing is a great example of that. Like our goal was to go out there, basically kill the skip trace, where it was, okay, how do we...
You did it.
Yeah, and we did it like 15 months ago is when we launched this feature-ish. And that was definitely a big turning point for us too, where a lot of people just even heard that and said, how is that even... Like, is this good data? Like, what, we just got people really curious to try us out again. Yeah. And to see the response of the quality of the data and people's results with it has been awesome.
Can you explain for people who don't know what skip tracing is? What it is?
So a skip trace would be paying for phone numbers and emails associated with a particular property. And so the traditional skip trace, it would be like, okay, just any records around anyone that's ever been associated with this property, go pay for that, and you're paying like, typically like 10 cents was pretty standard. And still some places that's what it costs to go out and per property pay 10 cents to get phone numbers and emails associated with it. And so we went in there.
So all the potential sellers' contact information.
Yes. So it's like, okay, I'm just trying to get in touch with the owner of this property. And traditionally it would come back with like 10, sometimes 10, 15 phone numbers. And you're like, what is, I guess I'll try them all because I don't know which ones actually are good. And then they would go out of date and you had to reskip it every 6 months or ever so often.
Did you ever hear, sorry to interrupt, did you ever hear of Public Records 360?
How long ago was that?
Considered like 2013.
Yeah, that's before even.
That's what I started with. And it was literally like 40 numbers. You're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, just dial them all.
That's having good data is key.
Yes. And so now our goal on our end is we're not even doing that same process. We're updating our database and we're matching people to properties on the back end. And so we're giving you phone numbers and emails tied to that person, and then that person tied to the property. So we're making all those inferences on the back end, which has made our skip tracing way more accurate. Oh. And also we're giving you that included with DealMachine free. So like if you pay for a subscription, our pro plan, you get 60,000 total leads in there. That would normally be 60,000 times 10 cents, right? And that's so what, $6,000 to get phone numbers and emails that you are just getting a whole list.
How much is a pro plan?
Pro plan is $179 a month.
Holy crap, that's so expensive. So with the pro plan, what do I get?
So pro would be all 60,000 leads you can save.
Okay.
You can also export with pro. It's 30,000 a month, so you could just export them.
I see you guys' angle here.
Yeah, so you've got a couple ways you can use it that way.
No. But I'm seeing where your competitive advantage is right now.
For sure. Yeah, yes. That's a big one. And
you guys are trying to take out the other person. Hey, listen, that's business. I love it.
Yeah, the tech. I mean, you always got to keep evolving, making it better. Someone's going to replace you, right? So
pro plan, I get 30,000 records. That I could
60,000 to save, 30,000 a month you can export.
Okay,
that makes sense.
And then what else?
To even get to those 60,000, I'll back up one step. You would need to build a list of properties, right? Build a list of addresses. You can do that through either Driving for Dollars, which takes us back to the start, right? You can go do that yourself. We have virtual D4D now, where you can click for dollars. We have AI to help you drive for dollars now. I don't know if you've even seen that. That's pretty new.
I've not.
Yeah, so you can go in there. This one's pretty crazy. Not to get, I just get.
Let's speak out. Yeah.
But this one, you can actually go in there. You could outline a whole area and say, hey, based on that area, go in and you can click the prompt distressed properties, which is clickable right inside the map. And you can say, hey, AI, go look at all the street view images and satellite images of these properties and tell me which ones are distressed.
Can I say only if it's 2023 or newer?
Yes. So you could say, and you could even, what I would do is just filter the last sale date.
Yes.
Yeah. And then there you go.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because I worry about that with Google Images. Maybe it's like a 2014.
For sure.
So filter last sale date.
Or year built, or there's like ways to kind of do that a little bit. So I would definitely recommend that, because you're right. Like, it's not, the pictures weren't taken yesterday, right? But it's still, I would say, if you say, hey, they haven't sold in 5-10 years, right? That means that the picture is still the same owner. Because if it's changed hands since that photo was taken, it's probably not good data anymore. But if you just filter and say, hey, show me the properties that just haven't sold in a while, that's probably pretty similar condition to what it is.
So I can use AI to start driving dollars for me?
Yeah.
I think I don't need to be doing that anymore. Or anybody on our team for that matter, if you can do it like that.
Yeah. I mean, so you can.
Could I say like, hey, AI, can you drive in this area, find properties that look abandoned, and have code liens?
Yeah, I mean, you could say, so what I would recommend, so there's Driving for Dollars, right? That's the one strategy that we were originally known for. And then over time, what we become is a data platform where now you have over 700 data points, 200 of them associated with the property owner themselves, like the demographics of the owner. And you can come in there and do what you're talking about of, hey, go filter by a bunch of these factors. So you've got a list and a zip code. You could say, show me in this zip code every single family home that's off market, that has high equity, that hasn't been sold in a while, was built a while ago. So you can do all these things and then either just pull that list or have the AI drive for dollars for that specific little niche list already. Wow. So that's where you can essentially use those two things combined to build lists that no one else has. It's a completely unique niche list instantly.
That's crazy. Who else has that?
Nobody.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the dialer.
Yes.
Can we talk about the dialer?
Yeah.
Because that's awesome. Was I one of the first guys to demo it?
You might have been the first. So
I'm going to take that title.
You can validate with David.
Because I know I did it in a hotel room.
Yeah. We were at CG, I think, together, and then you. I don't know. Did David call you and just like, hey, come up to this hotel room?
No, I think that we did did we do the podcast before that? We did the podcast before, and he's like, hey, and I was talking about how complimentary I was about DealMachine, how much I like it.
Yeah.
And then he was like, hey, you want to see what we got going on? And I was like, I can make phone calls.
That's
like, that's one thing I'm very confident about.
We were very good at it. The coolest thing was to see you do it live, and see like if you combine your skill at sales with like the technology, that was awesome.
Yeah. Do you think AI is going to get to the point where it can be as good as guys like me who are good at cold calling?
So the thing with AI that we see is that we really look at it as a super productivity tool. So we don't think necessarily like, hey, yeah, AI, I know a lot of people are like, oh man, it's going to take over this or that. Yeah. And what we really say is, okay, AI is not taking that particular role. It's someone with AI will take that job, right? So it's if you can embrace it and really make it a part of everything else you're doing, you're going to be ahead of the curve and you're going to be way more productive, period. So
do you think we're going to have robots doing stuff like this in the future?
Dude, it's funny, like even like the AI outbound calling, there's so much compliance around that's not even like legal to just say, hey, AI bot, call out all these people for me.
Should be. Because otherwise, like your phone's ringing off the hook.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
So yeah, exactly. So we have embraced it to be a tool to help you where what you do is you make the call, you one-off call that seller. It's in the end, it's up to you to build that relationship. The AI can assist by doing things like what you were using it for, where when you use the AI dialer inside DealMachine, you make the call and you start talking, it transcribes the call in front of you.
Yeah.
There's afterwards, it tells you all the notes, it tells you recommended next step, all of that, the sentiment around the call. And then the crazy thing is that button that said, what do I say next?
Yeah.
That's in there where what it's doing is it's prompting the AI saying, here's where we're at in the conversation, here's what my end goal is. Give me recommendations on where to take the conversation.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't need that help, but I mean,
for newbies,
for people who, I'm not trying to say that to gloat. I'm just saying like, it comes naturally to me, but so many people are so nervous on the phones.
That's what's,
it's like, so if you're nervous on the phones, if you haven't done any deals and you're looking to do deals, the best way, I always tell people like, how do I find a deal? I'm like, the best way is, number one is chase pre-foreclosures. Number two is find abandoned houses or find abandoned houses with tax liens. Number three is drive for dollars with abandoned houses. And you guys can do all three with your tool.
So you can use our data to build the pre-foreclosure, that whole world list, the liens and all of that. That's a data point in there. And then driving for dollars, obviously. So yeah.
How good is your pre-foreclosure list?
I had to ask, so our head of product, Dan, he's always sourcing where we're getting our data, how good it is, how accurate it is, how up to date it is. So we've got, 8 or 9 major data sources that we're pulling from and then making it so it's really easy to like digest that data and then take action on it. Pre-foreclosure, we've gotten really good feedback. I'm not able to say like, here's exactly how often it's updated.
Because I've never, I didn't trust it 100% just myself yet.
Yeah.
But I'd rather just go in there because I always say, hey, the best thing is the county recorder's office, obviously.
For sure, yeah. It's similar to like, any kind of data source like that.
But that wasn't comparing your data, that was comparing somebody else's data.
Okay, yeah, I got you. I'd still test it out. It's something that like, how we've designed it, we want to make it real easy to go in there and test. And that's where the biggest thing is to get people excited to go, even like I know we've got a free trial set up with you guys. We've got some perks set up and everything. If you go through your link, I want to make sure people really treat it well. And the main goal for us is we're really confident in the experience once you're in there using it. So we just want people to go in there and say, yeah, go pull a pre-foreclosure list, call it and see what happens.
What do they get with that link, just so we can talk about that?
Yeah, so they get a free trial for a week just to try out the tool.
So as much as they use in a week?
Yeah.
As many as they want to use in a week?
You can't export, but you can go in there and add leads based on the plan.
Can I make calls?
Yeah. Yep.
Can I call people?
Yeah, and we actually, with a calling, we included free marketing credits for people that use that link too. So that way you get 500 free calling minutes with it, or 50 free postcards.
Okay, listen up right now. If you didn't hear that, because that's better than anything else I've ever seen. If you don't take advantage of this, like I'm just gonna be straight with you. Whether or not, like this is a free service, this costs them money. Like they're giving away their product for free. I mean, postcards cost money. Do you get free deals at the post office?
No. Okay. We don't even really make margin on the mail in general. So
right. So you're not making any money, and now you're losing money.
Right.
So this is basically what you call a lead acquisition or customer acquisition tool. So what DealMachine is willing to do for you is give you a free product to use, and like crazy as much as you want for a week. Now I will tell you this: whether you're my student or whether you're anybody, I'm going to say this up at the mastermind tomorrow. Whether you're my student or whether you're somebody who's looking to get into real estate right now, it's all about freaking true immersion. Go out there for a week, bleed their system dry, send every single postcard that you can, use it, and you'll probably get a deal. And if you get a deal, what do you think the average person doing a deal makes? I know for our students, it's $50,000 on a flip.
Oh, on a flip.
And on a wholesale, they're probably north of 20.
Yeah, I was going to say somewhere in that 10 to 20 range on a wholesale. A flip for sure, I believe that. Buy and hold, that's long-term wealth, right? So we've had a ton of people do deals on the free trial, which is awesome. And we're almost up to 15,000 total deals by our customers using DealMachine.
If you don't do this, you don't want it bad enough. I'll just be honest with you, because for you to go in there, get a free service, nothing to lose at all, and be able to try something, send out all the postcards, go and attack it, use every tool that they have, and it doesn't cost you one nickel, you could potentially make 20, 30, 40. We even have one student, give him a shout out right now, Jason Tamaro, that took advantage of this exact same, this exact same thing, found his first deal using DealMachine, driving for dollars in Tampa, Florida, in his car, made $70,000 with this same free trial.
Yep.
That's a fact. I don't know if he told you that.
So he told me he was out driving for dollars. I think he called right in front of the house. Maybe.
Yep.
That's so awesome. Yeah. And
I told him to do that. I said, because it's really compelling if you're in front of the house and say, hey, I'm sitting right in front of your house.
Yeah.
Why wait to do if you're out there actually driving?
Right.
So here's a couple suggestions that I don't tell other people, but I'll tell you, and you guys can't tell anybody else. No. But I always tell people to take a selfie in front of the house.
That's a good one. Yep.
I don't think people do that.
But not enough, for sure.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just a defaulted Google image.
Right.
And if I take a selfie, it's actually me in front of the house. So I took a selfie of you waving. Okay. And the other thing I say is, you're there, you're not going to go home and make the phone calls, because you're not going to do it. So just make the phone call right in front of the house.
Yeah. The less you procrastinate, the more deals you're going to do.
Yes. And the more you do on that deal right there, the more likely you are to get a deal. Now, if I go and drive 200 houses, and I don't send postcards, and I don't make phone calls, it's better than me driving 10 houses and doing all of those things I just told you about.
Yeah. And like you said, you're right there. You can just, literally go talk to them in person and go do the deal right there if they're ready. So.
Well, if they're in the house.
Yeah.
Right. If they're in the house, you can. But you could say, if they're at the other thing, you should say, hey, I'm in front of your house. I just want to let you know, did you know that there's this going on with it? I just want to let you know. You could act like a concerned neighbor.
Yep.
That's one of my strategies is hey, did you know there's something, a tree falling on your house?
Yeah.
Did you know there's boards on your window and somebody might have broke in? You might be liable for this? Get them the concerned neighbor way. I'm just driving down the street. I saw your house. I figured I'd give you a call.
I know the biggest things just in general, the biggest two factors on I'll call this marketing, right? Marketing response would be consistency. So putting in the work, right? And just getting in front of them, which we built out. The dialer helps you with that. We have mail, which you can just send, you can automate, just click a button and it sends it once a month or however often you want. So consistency is huge. And then the other one is the creativity as well. So
do you want to add one tool to your tool belt that you can tell David and them to develop?
Go for it. We're always listening. Yeah.
So I think, number one, the way to get the most, do you want to know what do you do to get a call back? I'll tell you what I do, and I'm going to tell you.
For marketing?
Yeah.
I actually mail is my number one just because it's most passive.
But when you leave a message.
Oh, how do you leave the message?
Yeah.
It's pretty, I could get more creative. It's pretty standard.
Do you want me to tell you that it's always going to get you a call back?
Yeah.
Now just be ready for the heat.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Troy. I'm calling you about 123 Elm Street. It's urgent. Call me back.
And just leave it there.
Are you going to call somebody if they say, hey, I'm calling about your house? Matt, it's Troy. I'm calling about your house on 123 Elm Street. It's urgent. Call me back.
Yeah. I mean,
it gets, now you're going to get heat.
I'm sure.
So I always tell my students, say it's important. Because urgent will work really well. It's the most effective.
Right.
But important is not as effective, but it's also not going to get you as much heat when they call you back.
Makes sense, yeah.
So if you don't know how to deal with the heat, when I mean heat, I mean they're going to get somebody pissed off. If they're like, hey, I'm just trying, if you can't transition.
Right.
But the other thing is, what I was going to say before I said that is, so I like to do that. What I would love to hook up is ringless voicemail to it. If we could hook up ringless voicemail to DealMachine, where I could take all of those properties that I've used your AI to, I'm just giving you food because you had me thinking here. I feel like I have you captive audience.
Yes.
If we were able to do that and say, hey, I loaded these 30,000 leads. I have all their phone numbers. I have everything. Now I want to get all those. I want to send a message to everybody, say, hey, it's Troy Kearns. I just sent you a postcard. I just let, it's important. I want to talk to you about your house. Give me a call back. Boom. Now I do a voicemail drop to 30,000 people.
Yeah. So couple things. One, the feedback's awesome. Like the reason why we're not just a Driving for Dollars app anymore is because of feedback like this, where we have our customers saying like, oh man, I wish you did this, I wish you did that, and that's how we've been continuing to evolve. And Dan, like I mentioned, our head of product, he's another guy that went to school with us, by the way. I've known him forever.
Yeah.
He has a laundry list of all these ideas of what we could be doing. It's just a matter of him to prioritize that and work with the team to do that. But it's very much, super appreciated when we get that feedback of how can we make our people more successful. Ringless voicemail specifically, I know there's a lot of compliance and things around it that I leave to Dan to like go look into, but I always do, again, really appreciate the ideas.
I wouldn't do text messaging because of that, but I think ringless voicemail or like, maybe there's a way to like the leader in it is Callfire.
Okay.
Callfire does really good ringless voicemail. Slide dial used to be kind of a thing. But maybe there's a plugin that you could just be like, hey, rather than having to do the export and import whole thing.
So we don't have it one-to-many, but what I will say, and when you were messing with the dialer, I can't even remember if we had this feature or not, but with the AI dialer, we do have a click to drop voicemail.
Oh yeah, I use that.
Yeah, so it's a one-off click. So it's not a click and then 30,000, but you every time you make a call, it can say to you 30 plus seconds, per click. What it does is it uses and it's opt-in obviously, but you can go in there and opt in to train the AI to sound like you on voicemail. And then whenever a call goes to voicemail, there's a button to click that says drop voicemail, drop AI voicemail. You click on that and it'll be Matt saying, hey, in whatever script you want. So like, hey, give me a call
Are you
back.
familiar with how ringless voicemail works though?
Yeah, I know it's one-to-many, right? Like you were saying, be able to.
Yeah, it is. So it does 2 rings. So like if you ever get that call, it's missed, and all of a sudden you get a voicemail.
Right, you have a voicemail without.
So that's what it does.
Happen.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, and the biggest thing would be just doing our due diligence on the compliance side and stuff. We had a texting platform in like 2021.
Yeah, I would stay away from that.
Yeah, we shut it down because we were just like, we was barely live, and we're just like, there's too much gray area here. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that the reason that text messages will get abused, and maybe it will be, maybe it's not a good idea to go with ringless voicemail. I'm just bringing it up.
No, any idea I always bring the team. So
I would say that with texting, I just feel like people abuse it in general because it's so easy to like just type.
Right.
But most people are going to be too scared to answer the phones.
Yeah.
When they come back, so I don't think there's going to be a lot of people using it. Where everybody's going to be passive.
Right.
Yeah. Right? Like, so I think for a guy like me who's good on the phones, I want to get my message out there to the masses, and I don't necessarily want to put all the dial time in, or I can't get my people as good as me, right? Then that's something that I'm like, that's a good feature.
I will say, and we saw this when you were doing the hotel demo or live calling. The way you like disarm people and get them and just build a relationship with them so quickly is pretty cool. Like I was very, very impressed. So
well, it's a behavior I've learned over the last 23 or probably I learned it at Burger King. So I said to somebody, I branded it. I've never told anybody besides my students like what it is, but it's called the 3 C's. So compliment. Do you like a compliment?
Yeah,
everybody does, right? So compliment, confidence, and credibility. So the first thing I'm going to say to somebody is like, I think on that particular call, I said, how about those Chiefs, right? Like I said something to kind of almost say like, hey, Larry, I think his name was Larry, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And like,
good memory.
I'm going to say something to try to disarm them. And usually some people, they can pick it up a little bit. They're like, yeah, but they're also not mad. So like, they're like, okay, what do you want, right? But like, what do you want versus like, I respect game versus you just are calling me to bug me. You're actually trying a little bit better.
Yeah.
And so I think that just trying to disarm someone and then build that instant rapport is how you're going to be successful. And if you can't do that, if you're going to sit there like a lump on a log in the sales call anyways, people buy who they like. Yeah. Like, and that's something that we need to, postcards are going to be great. You can be super cool on the phone. You can be very polite. But if you can't find out what that person's about, and you can't get to know who that person is on the phones, which is what I did with Larry, and he came back around because he was like, he thought he was being a jerk. because I said, I'm sorry for bothering you and this and that. And
he was like apologizing to you by the end almost. Like, and that's actually why I think like your AI question, that's something that, humans want to do business with humans they know, like, and trust, right? And so you were able to go out there and build that right away. On top of all the legality, compliance stuff, like we want to give you technology to just be better doing that and being yourself. So
I think like is the first part of that phrase. Like is, I always say, if people like you, they'll do business with you. They may not have to know you. They may not have to trust you, because you're going to build the trust. But if they like you,
that's the most important one.
That's the most important one. Because like you like who you're working with right now, right?
Yeah.
If you knew him and you trust him, but you didn't like him.
Yeah, I mean, that was the main reason I like DealMachine. Number one reason I joined was the team.
Yeah.
Because I liked him. There you go.
Yeah, right. It's the number. I mean, because we are, as human beings, myself, yourself, whoever, we all make our decisions with emotion, and then we justify logically in our brains that what we're doing is the right decision. Let's go into let's get some people excited about how much money you can make with this tool, because I think that like we've covered all the bases. I mean, basically what you're saying is, number one, it's your full tool belt. It does everything that you're going to need, and I'm going to say this unequivocally. You do not need any other tool besides DealMachine. I will say that unequivocally. Even though I said, hey, can you add ringless voicemail? You don't need it. If you're a beginning investor, you don't need it. And you can build your team out with it. Like you can add your people to your dialer. That's what we're doing. You know what I mean? You can bring all of that stuff in there. So like it's the only tool you need in your tool belt. It doesn't cost you much money, which is a huge thing. People are always like, oh, well, I need to spend all this money.
Yeah, especially with the skip tracing. That was our goal, is to save you like thousands of dollars just with that one feature, right? So,
it's that I used to spend on the number one skip tracing platform, TLO, back in 2000. They kicked me off for the 5th time. Like they kept kicking me off. It was the stupidest thing because they got bought up by TransUnion, and they were like, oh, you're looking up celebrities. I did look up one. But like it wasn't against their terms and services. I looked up, it was so funny because I got the email, Matt. And it was like Stephanie Clifford something or other. I'm like, who is that? It was Stormy Daniels.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
I just had looked her up, you know what I mean? Because I was like, oh, this lady full of crap. Let's see if she's a criminal. But I didn't buy it I just bought it as a skip tracing platform back when skip tracing was not even kind of well known.
Well, how much did that cost per skip then?
Oh, I had negotiated a sweetheart deal at 50 cents a skip trace. Whew. No. That was, and then they raised it to like $2.
Wow.
And I was like grandfathered in for years. So I'm glad to see you guys get all this stuff, because they were just torturing us for the data. The guy who's the original OG of all the data, his name is Hank Asher. He built TLO and he built every other skip tracing platform out there. And TLO was called The Last One. He was a gangster when it came to, he was an alcoholic. So he's out of Florida, but he was like a mad scientist when it came to data and lining up all that data. But TLO is probably the godfather of the data things. And then they got bought out by TransUnion. And that was, TLO stood for The Last One, because he built several of them and exited it.
It's a crazy story. Yeah. I mean, our whole goal was to be able to come in and like, stand out immediately, get people excited about that, at least try us out, because we're, again, really confident in the experience once you tried it out. So we just, hey, how do we get that out there to the masses and make a drastic move to get people excited to try it out. So 15,000 deals you said have been done? Yeah, almost. We've over 10, closing on 15.
Closing on 15,000. What's been has been the most money a person's made on a deal?
Just period. That's a great question. I mean, we get people all the time talking about 6-figure deals, even wholesales that big.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know from a flip, I wonder, I know we've had upper 6 figures. I wonder if we've had a 7. I would guess. Ooh. It's got to be, right?
Wow.
Like in some kind of luxury market or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be it's probably a Ryan or David question.
Okay.
But yeah, 6 figures for sure. We hear people on our YouTube channel. We've got like 200 or 300 interviews at this point. Probably even more than that.
You guys are cranking them. I was telling you about that. I was like, dude, you guys are doing like 5 a week.
Yeah, his podcast. Yeah, he's got a ton going out. But on those YouTube videos, we have people all the time that we bring on to talk about how they did, how they found the dealies in DealMachine, what they did, how they had that conversation, what lists they were pulling, how much they did on it.
Right.
And yeah, we get 6-figure ones all the time. So
nice. And what do you think? Have you seen a lot of guys transition out of their job and become full-time real estate investors?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's David's passion. Really is that. And if you follow him on social media, he'll talk a lot about DealMachine, real estate, all that, and then he'll talk about racing because that was something he grew up always wanting to pursue that passion, and basically used real estate as a means to quit his old 9-to-5 and build this as a thing that he could actually do as well. So
what's your passion?
Me personally? Yeah, I mean, family first for me is a big one.
Yeah, you sound like a good family guy.
8, 6, and 4-year-old, and the more time I can spend with them, that's like my why. If you're asking that, I don't have any kind of like racing hobbies per se. Definitely, love sports, love exercising that way. Grew up playing sports, so it's fun to share that with my kids too. But
what was your best sport?
Probably football and tennis were my two favorites. Yeah, for playing.
That's good.
But yeah, I did. I mean, with all my kids, that's the end goal is like if I can be an awesome present dad with them and with my wife, and again, like do use real estate as a vehicle.
Can you build an app for that?
For what?
Being an awesome
dad. I will use AI to help for. It is pretty awesome. I mean, it is cool. Like I'll teach them. Like we'll pull up ChatGPT and they'll say, hey, like. How do rainbows happen or whatever's like we're talking about on the way to school, and you can pull it up real easy and talk to it. It'll say, hey, teach me all about how rainbows happen, and it's pretty cool to use it as like a teacher.
It's awesome, man. We're like in a really cool, exciting time, and if you raise your kids right, an awesome time. Because we got to recognize that we also are in a dangerous time. Like if people don't know how to do anything anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Like, that's a scary thing. Like there's not a lot of people that know how to use their hands and tools and stuff anymore like that. So
yeah, I mean, there's a huge need there for sure.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I think it's just a huge opportunity for people as well, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But
can AI teach me that?
Yeah.
What do you think, Matt, is the best AI tool out there? Like personally, like there's a lot of them going out there. ChatGPT was the original.
Yep.
Now you've got Gemini, you've got all these other ones, you got Grok. Yep. I'm going to say my personal favorite, but I'd love to hear what yours is.
Yeah, I mean, I know the team uses it just kind of depends what your end goal is with it. I probably, the most I use would be ChatGPT in terms of just pure, I mean, it's basically replaced the search engine for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even Google anything anymore. I just go straight to that and ask the questions there. I know our dev team, I believe it's Claude they use quite a bit.
What is it? Who did that one?
Our development team, our tech team. Claude, CLAUDE.
Who developed that one?
Shoot, I should know this. I think is it the same people who did Perplexity? Or Anthropic, that's the name of it. Anthropic is the company.
I haven't heard
of it. But I believe our development team, that's their go-to. But really each model can be good for different things. Like Google has the deep research tool. Notebook LM is really interesting, where you could literally just say, hey, I want to know all the headlines about this, this, and this. Make me a podcast to listen to on the way to work today about that. And it'll literally create the podcast for you on the spot to just listen to. And it's 2 AI hosts going back and forth on it, which is pretty crazy.
So
what about you? Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you like this. So I started with ChatGPT. I played with a little bit of it, and then it just kind of was like, I think they're all after the money, and now everybody else is starting to come out with the free stuff.
Yeah.
And so I played around with Grok a little bit, which is integrated into X.
Yeah.
And it also comes as a standalone app. And then I realized that Eli was the one that started ChatGPT. Did you know that?
Oh, you mean Elon when he was part of the OpenAI?
Yeah, he started that.
Yeah, he was part of it.
Yeah, so I said, he's pissed off at the guy, Sam, who started that. And I said, I bet you he's going to beat him. Just knowing how he's done everything.
He's a one-of-a-kind entrepreneur for sure.
One of a kind. Yeah. One of a kind. And so I started messing around with it, and in the beginning it sucked. And now it's next level.
Yeah.
I think it'll beat every single one. I think it is the best one. I think it will beat everyone. I think he's going to take it all. He's got the best engineers. I think, he's between Tesla, all the data that they've gathered through Tesla, all the data that they've gathered through
just through
X now.
In general. Yeah.
Like, I think that the fact that he integrated it in, like Google would probably be my second bet if I was making a bet, but I think because he's got something to prove with this guy, and I think he wants to shut Sam Altman down.
He's definitely a competitive guy for sure.
Well, I think he wants to crush him.
For sure. And it's cool to live through this time too, because I know, like I always told my kids the other day on the way to school how when I grew up, it was like, okay, I remember when there wasn't internet really available for everybody. I remember dial-up. I remember all that.
Yeah.
And like to see that evolve, and this is, even bigger, right? And so the more advancements all of them have, the better for us, like the consumer, right? Like we're all gonna benefit from that because it's gonna be cooler and get better and better, right? But to just really embrace that and keep educating yourself on, okay, how can I use this to apply this to my life to make me better what I do, and really if you can find your strength, your superpower, you talking about like the sales side for you, it sounds like.
Definitely my superpower.
And if you can embrace tech to just make that, whatever your superpower is, so much better, you're going to be ahead of the game.
Elon's going to own everything. You know why? Because he has put more satellites in the sky. I eventually believe that we won't need cell phones. He'll control he will be the fiber optics of everything. We won't need fiber. We won't need anything. He will control it all. I believe between the Tesla, the solar panels, all that stuff, he's got it.
It's an exciting time, man, just to see. I mean, we're going to space and all this. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So But I think in general, like that's what our approach is. Especially, I mean, even just inside DealMachine, again, it's like, how do we keep evolving? How do we keep giving you guys the most cutting edge stuff so you stand out in your market and you're embracing all these new things and you're doing stuff like the AI driving for dollars, or we just launched like our corporate skip tracing data. We launched that at the end of last year.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So that's a list that is
so just to be clear what
get.
that is, like that is LLCs, that is trusts, that is all sorts of things that people normally, you'd have to go to the Secretary of State, go look up the owner individually, and I don't know how they figured out how to do it, but that's not my job to figure that crap out. But they figured out how to basically, it was very frustrating. The only place that did it before you guys was a thing called Reonomy, which I don't even know if you heard of, but it was I used it for commercial. But yeah, so if you're dealing with investors, normally they're gonna have their property in an LLC. And so you'd have to go and then find the owner from the Secretary of State, but you guys bypass that step.
Exactly. Yeah. So we give you that direct feed, and it's showing you, hey, here's the agent and organizer for the LLC, and
Plus
here's
how many properties they own.
Exactly, and gives you that data, and then gives you the phone numbers and emails to reach out. So stuff like that, we're always trying to put out there and evolve and show you, okay, here's how you can use new tech and new data sources to just build a list other people aren't working actively, and really the people who embrace technology early are going to see the most benefit, right, in general. So,
so do you guys have any like standout students, people that are just, or not students, but I guess users,
customers,
users that are just like crushing it?
I mean, so Ryan Haywood, who you talked about, he's the first one I think of. I mean, we have quite a few I could talk about, but Ryan's the first one that I think of that he's in St. Joe, right?
Right, he did it in the smallest market.
Yeah, which is even more impressive.
Yeah,
and,
totally.
The guy, I mean, he's done, I think, over 500 deals.
Yeah,
now.
I think he's close to 500.
Yeah.
He's over 400.
Yeah, for sure.
We just played golf the other day. He did beat me. You know what I think about that? I had the worst golf game ever, too, that day. I was like, oh my God, we bet like $100. I was like, dude, I'm literally I shot 102. It was like the worst score I've gotten in a long time.
Hey, at least you're getting out there. So.
That's right.
But yeah, Ryan, he, awesome guy, another big family guy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, he's somebody who is literally co-hosting the podcast with David now because he just embraced it and was like, man, I'm going all in on this. I'm making this an essential part of my business. He, last time I talked to him, he was doing like new construction and stuff now, I believe. Yeah. So he's just really expanded beyond just getting out there and just finding deals.
Ryan's a class act. He was like, when I met him, to take you back through that story. So I was first coming to Kansas City. I was flying back from Las Vegas, and I was on Instagram looking for deals. And so I would go hashtag Kansas City real estate just to see if I could find any deals that way. And his wife was posting deals, and I saw one for like $9,000, and I'm like, and it said Kansas City, and then I'm like, oh, it's St. Joe. And I talked to my realtor. She's like, hey, listen, St. Joe's a ghost town. Don't bother going there. And I was like, all right, I'm definitely going now. Yeah. So I go down there. He was brand new. I think he had done 1 or 2 deals.
Wow.
And so I looked at, I think, 3 or 4 properties that day. I said, I'll buy that one. And then he sold me like 17 that year. So he'd never seen anybody buy properties like me. You know what I mean? I was like, whatever, these are cheap. Let's go. And we got to become fast friends. And he would ask me questions because he realized where I was at in my career. And he's like, yeah, he still to this day, he always tells me, dude, there's like a pivotal point, if I didn't meet you, and I was like, bro, you are doing what I'm telling you. You're asking advice, you're my friend, we become friends. Like, I'm giving you answers.
Such a humble guy too.
Yeah, I'm like, you're executing. So like, don't, I appreciate you saying that, but let's just go play golf and don't beat me again. But
yeah, maybe throw a hole.
Yeah, like maybe throw a hole or two.
Like, thank you enough. Yeah.
Yeah. No, like you can thank me, but not beating me.
No, he's great, man. I mean, and so he's the first one I think of as somebody who had no real estate experience before he really jumped just headfirst into it. And I know he did a challenge that
Max
was in
Maxwell challenge.
There you go. Yeah, like 5 years ago-ish, I think. And just started there, didn't really have a real estate background in any way, and it's awesome what he's built in just a couple of years. So.
In a small-ass town. I think that's the most important part to point out, because so many people are like, oh, I'm in freaking Green Bay, Wisconsin, or oh, I'm in South Dakota. It doesn't matter where you are. You're just making excuses for yourself. If you really want to be successful in real estate, you have to make a decision saying like, and he had enough. That was a key factor. Same with Jason, JT.
Yep.
Like both of those guys, the best thing that happened was losing their jobs or quitting their jobs, whatever it is, because when you decide that you've had enough and you want to be successful in real estate, it's up to you now. Now you can't blame anybody else.
Yeah.
And then if you choose to take that action and be successful at it, this tool is like a flamethrower, okay? And if you wield it accordingly, Ryan did 72 deals his first year. 72 deals his first year. He's done, like you said, almost close to 500 or something like that.
Somewhere around there.
He owns right now 60 rental properties, okay? That's all happening in 5 years.
That's crazy.
So if you decide to make the decision, we're going to hook you up with the link, DealMachine/Troy. What do they get for that, Matt?
So try it out for free. We just want to give you as much as for free as possible, right? And like just have you go out there and just start using it. And like Troy said, if you commit and like dive in and start doing that, you're going to start to have really exciting conversations with sellers. Like that is what we want to get you to, is that aha moment like that. And so you can see, man, the ball's starting to roll. I'm getting fired up. Like I see the long-term vision, right? So 7 days free to try it out. And then you get, obviously the unlimited free skip tracings with it. So you can just start making calls, email, all that stuff. 500 free calling minutes with it. So you can just start, again, using the dialer in there if you want to use that. And then 50 free postcards to be able to send direct mail to. So
awesome. So they get that. Now here's the deal. If you're local or if you're in Mississippi and you're like, dude, I don't have a buyer, tk@troykearns.com. Just email me. I'm always interested in your deal. Even if you feel like, oh, I don't know how to price this or whatever, like I'll walk you through it. I'll help you buy the deal. You can email me. I'd be happy to help you out with that. The other thing I was going to mention is you guys also have a cash buyers list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you walk people how to use that?
Yeah, and so that's there's a few data points inside DealMachine that can really, really help you with the dispo side, or the other side of it if you're going to do wholesale, right?
Yeah.
We have a cash buyer filter. That's one right off the bat. So you could literally, if you have a deal in a certain area or are talking to a seller and you're like, okay, I need to build that cash buyer list, just draw around that deal or the zip code around it. You could type in the zip code and then just filter simply under quick filters. There's cash buyers in one of the filters. So that's based on transaction data. You can just use that. There's also a owner is a house flipper is literally the label of it.
Oh.
Which that's a filter in there that if you go, if you're on the app and you're searching, just go to the more button. And if you can't find a filter, click on more, search by owner is a house flipper. That's one data point right there. And then another one is you can search by number of properties owned or owns a portfolio, right? Because we've got that data as well around the owners. So you could say, hey, you know what? Here's where my deal is, draw around those blocks and see who owns more than 3 or 4 properties around there, and maybe they want another one, right? So, so it's a way to be able to identify people who buy and hold in the area too. So.
That's awesome, man. Guys, DealMachine is the absolute best platform out there. I cannot tell you. Matt has been like a delight to get to meet over the last, I think, 3 years now?
Yeah, three or four that we've been working together for.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Anytime I need something, he's always there to help us out. That's one last thing I wanted to mention. You guys do live free trainings, I think, every Tuesday?
Oh, the live trainings?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wednesdays. Yes.
Wednesdays at what time?
We need to have you back on one of those, but Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern time for an hour.
Okay, so anytime you want a free training, you guys also have a YouTube platform?
Yeah. So we actually, there's 2 parts. We have the live 1 hour a week kind of masterclass right there. Those are on Wednesdays. We also have office hours too. So the office hours are 4 days a week for 1 hour each day. And if you just do DealMachine.com/office-hours, just save that link. Our head of customer success goes live 4 days a week and just takes questions. And that way you've got kind of this open forum that you can go on there and be like, oh, I need, how do you do cash buyers or what have you.
Right.
So it's a great kind of, just live session to use 4 days a week too. We have our chat inside the app as well. So, that gets back to you in 15 minutes or less on average. So just reach out that way too. And what was your other question?
I think it was just where the training is.
Yeah. And then, so that training and
the YouTube.
We have a YouTube channel too that we've got, like 1,500 videos or something on there.
Yeah.
That are interviews and trainings and just being able to share this knowledge of, hey, go out there and do deals, right?
Yeah. So if you don't want to be successful, don't do anything we talked about. If you want to be successful, just take massive action and do it today. Download the link right now, DealMachine /Troy. That'll give you what he told you, which is the 50 free postcard, 500 minutes, 60,000 contacts. Is that right? Or 30?
If you do pro, you can do any of the plans. So if you do pro, that's 60,000 contacts right there.
Yeah.
Pro plus is 120,000. So yeah, you've got some options.
Just do the easiest one for you that makes sense for you and go out there and do it. And if you don't like it after a week, cancel. Yep. But chances are you're going to freaking like it. And if you get your first deal, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
It'll be a game changer.
You pay for life pretty much, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's so inconsequential in terms of money. Like even if I wasn't actively doing deals, I'd still keep it because it's a tool you need to have in your tool belt, at all times. It's an absolute game changer. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
man.
Troy, appreciate it, man.
Guys, make sure that you guys subscribe to this podcast. Make sure you give us a 5-star review for Matt dropping all this game on us, and we will talk to you on the next one. Peace. Hey, thank you so much for tuning into our podcast right now. I am so happy that you are here. You are in the right spot to be getting inspired by other people that have just achieved their goals so that you can achieve your goals. Do me a favor. Leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us grow. And give us comments and feedbacks. We read those. It helps us grow. The most important person in this podcast is the listener, right? And so if you give us your feedback, it will allow us to create a better podcast for you. And make sure you enjoy the show and leave us a 5-star review.